Hi, how's it going? I'm Marlena. Thanks for wandering by. Welcome to this VR, which is another VR to Meg at Rose Honey Ritual and Thea at Garden Goddess Tarot with the hashtag top 10 indie decks. We did the top 10 mass market decks, and now we're back for the top 10, my top 10 indie decks. And I'm super late to the party, but I'm here. I made time finally to do these to do this VR, and I'm like super excited about it. So I guess I'm not going to give too much preamble for this one. These are independently produced decks. They're in no particular order except for probably the last two are like my super top, super top number one and number two, I guess we'll say. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, first on my list is the Intuitive Tarot by Scylla Conway. Now, I surprised myself when I was coming up with my list for my indie decks because I have the Shimmering Veil, which is another one of Scylla Conway's decks. And in choosing between these two, I chose the Intuitive Tarot. And while I do love the Shimmering Veil, this deck is so moody. And that is, I don't know, that is exactly what I love about it and why I think it is like just one, bit above the Shimmering Veil for me. This is, I believe, older. This is one of her first decks, I want to say. Don't quote me on that. But I absolutely love this deck. And I have used it, sorry, things are flipped around. I have used it in a very specific practice alongside an oracle deck. Oh, I'm not doing any oracle decks in this list. This is all tarot. But I've used it alongside the Journey of a Lonely Soul oracle. And that has been like a very special practice where I've been going through the 30-some cards that are in the Journey of a Lonely Soul and using this tarot deck alongside it. I love this. I think this is a Thoth-inspired deck, I want to say. Although it does have its Waite Smith kind of feeling about it as well. It kind of just is its own thing for real. But I love these spheres. I love the portal quality of it. I love how moody and dreamlike it is. I love this artwork. It's intense. This is not the type of deck that is like an everyday kind of reader. And I mean, I suppose it could be, but I really have zeroed in on it with this very important practice that is very personal to my own, it's like my personal self-growth work and identity work. It has been a part of that for me. But it's a beautiful indie deck. Like the colors, I don't know. It's a really good one. Look at this Hermit. Yeah, that's Thoth inspired for sure. I just love it. I could just sit here and look at it. I don't know. Like, I don't have much to say about it beyond that. God, look at this. It's stunning. I think it doesn't like appeal to everyone, but it certainly works for me. I really enjoy these characters in here. I love the colors. Yeah, it's just one of my favorites. Absolutely one of my favorites. So that is the Intuitive Tarot by Scylla Conway. Next up on my list of indie decks is the Marigold Tarot. And it is by Amrit Brar. I'm sure I'm not saying that name correctly. This is another deck that is very moody, but I just love it. It's friendly to me. Moody but friendly because, we have this limited color palette with the black and the gold and the white. It's very pippish. I've talked about this deck around spooky season because that's when I used it and I fell in love with it. These skeleton friends, like, I just really connected. This deck just really connected for me, and it felt this one could be an everyday reader. There he is, my chariot. I love that card so much. Yeah, the Marigold Tarot, I wasn't sure how I was going to get along with this deck at all. And because of it being so pippish, and I didn't think that it would be expansive in terms of its readings for me, but it spoke. It just spoke. I know some people have had trouble with it because of that it just kind of fell flat for them. That has not been my experience. Like, I just get it, and it gets me, and it feels like these are friends and guides, and I love the flowers and the skeletons and the flowers in the skeletons. Like, everything about it just makes me, makes me what? It doesn't make me anything. It just like speaks to me very clearly, and it works, you know? It's versatile for me too, and perfect for around Halloween. Absolutely perfect for that time. So yeah, so that is the Marigold Tarot. Next up on my list of indie decks is the Dream Vision Tarot. And this tarot is my alien deck. Here are the backs. It is edged in this like translucent, what do you call that? It's that silver rainbow kind of gilding. I love this deck. It has, like I said, it's my alien deck, and I've used it very specifically alongside a trilogy that I was reading by Octavia Butler, the Xenogenesis trilogy, the Xenogenesis trilogy, or Lilith's Brood, and it was such a cool deck to use with these ethereal alien like spirits. It just was perfect. I really, really love this deck. I love all of the characters in it. It was spot on in terms of what it was trying to teach me. This deck has lessons, and I feel like these are most definitely like spirit guides that I tapped into, this like otherworldly realm. It was like translating messages for my day-to-day life. Sorry, interruptions by the kiddo. Where was I? Oh, I think I was talking about how these cards are like messages from these like spirit guides that help me like navigate my day-to-day life. And I feel like they're life lessons in here. And certainly it opened up my experience of that series that I was reading, like in a really cool way. It matched what I was learning from the main character. It helped me like open up the themes of the novels. And yeah, I just really love, I love these vivid colors. This isn't always my favorite style with very bright colors. But for whatever reason, this deck just, yeah, it's just this ethereal quality that it has, this alien quality that I really am very attracted to. It's, yeah, it's just one of my favorites. Absolutely one of my favorite indie decks. So that is the Dream Vision Tarot. Okay, out of my animal decks that are indie decks, this is hands down my favorite one, the Anima Mundi Tarot. It took me way too long to get this deck. I don't know why I sat on it for so long, but I finally got it. It's linen cardstock. It's got that soft gilding that I love. This is another one of my like absolute favorite decks to shuffle. Let's do it on camera because I did this with the Fyodor Pavlov in my mass market, tag. or my mass market VR for this tag. Oh my gosh, it just, oh, I love the way that this deck smells too. But yeah, this is like my #1 type of deck to shuffle with this linen cardstock, soft gilding. Yeah, the sound, everything about it is amazing. So this animal deck it's very pippish in nature. I don't really struggle with that anymore. I really feel like I get it, and it just speaks to me. It's very simple but beautiful, and I really like the associations with the animals. I love this, the octopus for the hermit. Like, I love the colorway. It's soft and muted. This is a wintry type deck for me. I like to use it in the winter. I haven't used it as much as some of my other decks. Oh my gosh, I love this world card with the palm tree. Love it. It's just like, yeah, it's one of those decks that is, it's special and beautiful, and the animals feel like my friends. They feel like they have things to teach me. And like I said, the pips, this is one of the decks that has taught me how to read with pips. Love that High Priestess card. So good. The beavers for the 8 of Pentacles. Like, it's just, yeah, it's just a perfect animal deck, in my opinion. So yeah, so that is the Anima Mundi Tarot. Okay, so here we have the Hoxta Tarot, and I wasn't sure whether or not I should include this in my indie decks, but I have, because this is the indie version. This deck is now available mass market, so technically it could have appeared in that list, but I'm featuring it here in my indie decks because this is the indie version of the Hoxta. This is probably right now sitting at my favorite fairy deck. Did I have a fairy deck in my mass market? I think I didn't. That's interesting. Well, anyway, this deck, I just love it. I love MJ Cullinane. I have a few of her decks already. This one, though, is my favorite. I have really been transported. I love this Hangman card so much. I spent some time with this guy. I really feel transported into this fairy world. It's a little dark, but I like it. I mean, I think maybe there's a theme of moodiness across all these decks, some kind of mood. This deck, though, I just get it. It's so pretty. There's so much inside the imagery to home in on. Different places to go, different symbols. It's very narrative. It has a narrative quality. And the guidebook, you know, I think the guidebook does take you into this world and talks about it. A land of enchantment awaits. Yeah, it says that on the box. So it's the enchanted Hoxta Tarot, and it does feel enchanted, and it does feel like you're traveling somewhere else. And again, kind of like my alien deck with the dream vision, these are guides. I guess I feel the same way about, you know, my animal deck as well, that they are guides for me. That's what comes through. And I guess that's a theme. Moodiness, guides. Yeah, that's something I think that ticks some boxes for me in terms of what makes a tarot deck one in my top 10. It's a good deck. I love the colors. It's beautiful. Look at this. The 7 of Fire. All this whole video is just making me want to have these decks out and work with them. I love that 9 of Water. So good. Yeah, I absolutely love it very much. That is the Hoxta Tarot. Okay, so this is a deck. Well, this is a bag that was made by my friend Don Michelle, but this is a deck inside that was made and created by our own Lennon Smith. And I had to include a Thoth inspired deck in my top 10 indie decks. I guess the Intuitive Tarot is also Thothy, but this is definitely Thothy. It's called the Wild Essence Thoth. And it's a photo deck made by Lennon Smith. You can get it on Printer Studio. I'll leave links. I didn't mention that yet so far, but I'll leave links to everything down below. What Lennon did here with the Wild Essence of Thoth for me, I've said this before every time I show this deck, is so clever. For me, I'll say it again, because what she's done is she has zoomed in to the microcosm and zoomed out to the macrocosm and has captured the essence of the cards in the Thoth. And I think she did a wonderful job of that. I love pairing this with the OG Thoth. Like, I've done that a lot. And it has been a really awesome learning experience for me. I feel like this deck is a reading experience, but it's also been a learning experience for me too. And I know it's photographs and landscape and animals. There's very few people that are featured in this deck. I love this strength card with the sun and the moon. Like, it's so clever. It's just so well done. I just totally applaud Lennon for what she's done here. I think it's just really smart and I love it. Look at that full card. That's so good. It's just really good. And I definitely use this deck quite a lot. Last year especially, I spent a lot of time in this deck and it was great. Love what she's done with all of the court cards. Can't recommend it more highly. Yeah, Lennon Smith's Wild Essence Thoth Tarot. All right, this is the Stunning Tarot by Jonas Yaus. I wasn't sure if I was going to include this deck in this VR because I have not yet really worked with this deck, just a little bit. So it's not like I have an exhaustive review of it. This is the 4th edition, the most recent edition that she put out. Like I said, I have not yet worked with it, but I have not stopped flipping through this deck. I've done like a couple of readings and I can tell already that this deck is going to knock my socks off just by the couple of readings that I've already done. The intensity, the way that this deck affects me, the way that this artwork affects me is, like I said, intense. And I'm not sure that this is going to be a deck that I can use all the time. It remains to be seen. But like already, I want to just have it like, I want to use it all the time, but at the same time, it feels like it's too special for just anything. I feel like I've heard Candy Soul and Soil say that a lot about, how she leaves decks aside because they seem too special and you can't just use them for anything. I have that feeling about this deck. But I don't want that to mean that I don't use it. Look at this Devil card. My partner loves this card too. I've flipped through it and I made him flip through it with me. It's in the Marseille tradition, from what I understand about Jonas Yaus. I just absolutely adore it. The colors, this purple is everything. It's so good. Look at that star card. I could not include it in my top 10 indie decks, even though it is very new to me, very fresh, very new, and very, very special deck. So that is the Stunning Tarot by Jonas Yaus. Okay, so these are the top 3. And somebody's like pressure cleaning or using some kind of machine or something outside. I hope it's not too distracting, but I'm just not going to stop at this point and wait. I'll be here all day if I do that. So for the the top 3, these are really like my top indie decks. And I'm kind of cheating with this one. This is the Starseeker Tarot and the Phenomena Oracle. Okay, I know that this is 2 decks, and I know that this is an oracle, and I said I wasn't going to show an oracle, but I kind of cheating here because these are such a pair. So the Starseeker Tarot, this is the Rose Petal edition. And while I love the way that it feels card by card, shuffling it is not my fave. This is such a good deck. This is like, out of my indie decks, this is the deck that I would use to read for other people. And I use it to read for other people quite often. In fact, I do a reading, like an energy check-in reading. That's what I use alongside this, and I'll show it to you paired together in just a second, for me and my friend Dawn Michelle, you might know of her, all the time. And it is so spot on, these 2 decks together. But this deck, even without the oracle paired with it, it is such a good deck. Like, it's just pretty. These purple, blues, gray, green tones make me so happy. It is Waite-Smith inspired, but it has, it's a star seeker, so it has this like celestial vibe that makes it, it just makes it really kind of, you can go like high vibe with it, or you can go every day with it. And I like that versatility for this deck. Look at this devil card. It's so good. I love these characters. I really do. I love some of the way that it kind of veers from your Waite-Smith. Like if you look at this 3 of Pentacles with this broken pentacle and these 3 sets of hands, they're going to bring it together. They're going to work together for that. I really love that. That 4 of Pentacles, it goes away from that kind of miserly vibe to that like kind of security aspect of the 4 of Pentacles, and I really appreciate that. Let me show you it with this oracle deck. I know I'm cheating, but I don't care because these 2 together are just super cool. So this is it's a small deck. Here are the backs of natural phenomena. And sorry if everything is not, I'm so bad about keeping everything in order, like right side up anyway. And it has, dude, let me just put them like that. Okay. It just has these really cool, very just, clear natural phenomena. And when it's next to this guy, it just works like a dream. 8 of Pentacles, fossilize. I have to do this. The Empress and the Sun. That's cool. We have Flood and the Queen of Cups. Do you guys see? Like for an energy check, this is so good. Strength and the Tide. The High Priestess and a Meteor. Like I could stop right there. Ace of Pentacles and Sundog. So cool. Queen of Pentacles and Fire. That's so cool because that's like juxtaposing, kind of contrasting ideas here. So good though, right? I just really, really love the Starseeker Tarot, and I had to show it. I just had to show it with its companion oracle that I use it with so often. So yeah, so that's the Starseeker Tarot. Okay, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that these last 2 will not come as a surprise to anybody. This is another bag made by Dawn Michelle. I think I swapped it with the other one by accident. Oh well, because they're very similar. this is the Tree Spirit Tarot, and I'm talking about the other bag that is like the opposite patterns as this, which houses the Animal Wise Tarot. And there's a reason why the Animal Wise Tarot is not featured in this list, so that's not the number one, spoiler alert, but it will be featured in another video that I'm going to be doing after this. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming. But this is the Tree Spirit Tarot. And I think here, let me, because I just showed it in my month gone by. I love this deck. I saw it on Meg's channel to begin with. And I think I also saw Tarot Map, Kasia at Tarot Map showed this deck as well. I love it. I love everything about it. I do not know much about trees, but it does not matter at all. It really doesn't matter at all. I feel the tree spirit anyway. And I have done some research on some of these trees. Some of them are familiar to me. This also has like tropical fruit, citrus fruit and tropical fruit and trees that are in my area. So like orange trees is a big deal for me. And some of these other ones are as well. This is not an easy deck in terms of like when you're first learning tarot. I wouldn't say start here because everything has been renamed. All the suits have been renamed. The court cards have been renamed. The majors, I think, are the same. They renamed the aces, though. And it also has, the tree and a keyword. The keyword is really key, for me in working with this deck. And I first started out really kind of zoned in on that. Oh my God, the redwood trees for the Four of Evergreens. Like, that's so good. Like, the words are unexpected, right? Unpredictable kind of keywords. Oh, right. Yeah, the aces have been renamed to pioneer. So yeah, like pairs, like the magician or magi. It's good stuff. That's my number one card. This is the 10 of hardwoods. This is the 10 of swords. And this Seba, I don't know how to pronounce it, is a type of tree that is in my area that I grew up around. And this card just means a lot to me. I just love it. I just love it so much. I can't say enough about it. Like, I talk about it. Oh, I love magnolias too. I don't know what it is about these like tree pictures, but it just does it for me, That's the Fool. Oh, I love the Tower card as the eucalyptus. That's another tree that's in my area. So like, it's not completely foreign. These trees are not completely outside of the realm of my own experience. Some of them are. Look at the pomegranate as the high priestess. Like that I get just, because of pomegranate. But this is another one of my favorites, the coconut. Okay, this is palm trees and coconuts are in my, in my world, and that avocado too. I love avocado. We eat lots of avocado. It's good stuff. It's the most grounding deck that I have, and also one of the most spiritual decks that I have. I use it all the time. I mean, for all different kinds of things. It's limitless for me in its uses. And I just adore it ever so much. I could go on and on, obviously. So that is the Tree Spirit Tarot. Okay, so here it is, my number one deck. Are you surprised? If you've been here for a second, you shouldn't be surprised. This is the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum, and this is the original edition. It is, I believe, the second edition, but there's also an infinity edition, which I do have, which did not make this list, and that's fine because, you know, this is just my favorite. This deck is home. This is like the love of my little tarot life. This deck is, I guess it just ticks every single box for me in terms of what I need from the tarot. And this one is a home. Like, this is the deck that taught me the tarot. It's black on all sides. And that's the idea, that you're staring into the abyss and then you turn and you get the spectrum of color. It is, I mean, I probably wouldn't say that this is a holy experience. In fact, this deck feels so much more like a go-to, like a workhorse, like a deck that will do, will read for me, read for anybody. But it does have like guides and friends that speak to me. It does feel very moody with the colorway, right? It also feels very post-apocalyptic world. It feels very spacey and alien. It does root some things in the mundane. It is a spiritual experience, so I guess that does have like that holy vibe. I never really thought about it, the title, which I should have, the Holy Spectrum. It is Waite Smith inspired, but it does, you know, have its variations, does its own thing, speaks its own language, you know. I talked a lot of my friends into getting this deck. The colors for the minors are not expected. They're unpredictable. Right? So like, and it doesn't have, it's not like all the wands are not orange. It changes. The cups, a lot of the cups are red, but it moves through these different colors. And I know, like, some of my friends prefer the Infinity Edition, which is a little bit more, got more purples and blues in there. Whereas this is kind of sticks to these greens and oranges. I guess there's purples here, but it's just different. Oh God, I love the dotted lines. That definitely feels very spiritual with the dotted lines. I've had conversations with my friends about that. I just love it. Like, there's nothing about this deck that I don't like. I don't think. I'm trying to think if there is. The only thing is it's getting scuffed up. I can see where, because I've used it so much, some of those cards where the color is a little bit lighter, I can see the places where I've scuffed it. It's home base. It is mine. It feels like, you know, it feels like a good friend. This deck has become like a good friend. It's my buddy. It's been there for me through a lot, and I love it so much. That's like my favorite Ace of Pentacles ever, and one of my favorite Ten of Pentacles ever. I can close my eyes and see this deck. I know it so well, and I love it so much. So that is my #1 pick for my indie deck. That is the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. All right, so there we go. That was my list of my top 10 with a, 11th kind of honorable mention in there as a pair. My top 10 indie decks. I thank you so much for sticking with me, and I hope that you all have a beautiful, wonderful day. Bye.